Thank you. Thank you very much. It's great to be with everybody today. Thank you to the rest of the panelists, and a special thanks to Pope Francis and to Jeff Sachs for hosting this and putting it together. It's fitting that today's discussion about human rights and the SDGs is hosted by the Vatican. The Old Testament psalm declares, "Kindness and truth shall meet, justice and peace shall kiss." And that quest for justice and peace is what the SDGs and human rights are all about. In the wake of the atrocities after World War II, countries across the globe came together. They declared that national sovereignty would no longer shield governments that commit atrocities upon their people. And they drafted and signed the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Among the first words of the Declaration are human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. They then spelled out what those rights are and what's included in them, in a list which is a close parallel to the SDGs: the rights to shelter and food and healthcare, education, the right to due process, to not be subjected to slavery, torture, cruelty, or unreasonable searches and seizures, and the right to have these rights equally recognized, no matter one's race or creed or color or national origin or political belief. That's the grounding of human rights today, and that's the grounding of the SDGs. Without human rights, the SDGs will never be realized. At RFK Human Rights, we sue governments who abuse those rights. We work in partnership with marginalized people because we believe those who are closest to the problem are closest to the solution. And we work on preserving and expanding civic space, because unless journalists can cover the news and dissidents can safely criticize policies and human rights defenders can protect their clients without facing imprisonment and torture and death, unless these conditions are met, no one will be secure in achieving the SDGs. We work with investors in the largest corporations to help assure that those companies treat everyone up and down the supply chain with dignity. The investment industry has $70 trillion in assets, literally all the money in the world. But how much of that is controlled by women and minority-owned firms? Less than 2%. We are working to diversify the control of the supply chain of money so that children and youth across the globe can have access to basic needs. But even if the governments behave and the corporations comply with the international norms, it will all be for naught unless the next generation of human rights defenders know their rights and are trained to use them and are confident in their capacity to speak truth to power. On that day, when we all know our rights and know how to assert them, on that day, the psalmist's vision will become a reality. And on that day, kindness and truth shall meet, and justice and peace shall kiss. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Kennedy. And you rightly pointed out, without human rights, there is no SDGs, and I couldn't agree more. And thank you for your leadership and inspiring work that you've been doing through the center. It is truly an important beacon for safeguarding rights and justice around the world. So thank you for that. And now